Now we have Poncho, and he'll come over here and get up alongside the fence because he wants his butt scratched. And sometimes when I come to scratch his butt, he will flinch, and I still just approach him, just cautiously, calmly, and I'll pet him and then retreat. But what I really like to do when he's in this spot is work with his feet. He's not been kicky at all, but when he presents himself like this, I can come down here and work with his feet. Foot, deet, and then pay him. Now he's the one who gets pretty gapy with his mouth. So I just make sure I take my hand away before he is finished. Ready? Foot. So the last time I just got him to pick up his foot, then I let go or guided his foot back down. And then I paid him. The other thing I've been trying to do with him is starting to wiggle and jiggle. So once we get it where they'll pick up their foot when we ask, getting them light so that the wiggle and jiggle is huge. And that would be here. Deet, 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 deet. See how he got a little kicky. Foot. There. Okay. So he hasn't been kicky like that yet. But he's had 3 days off. Working him through the fence is great because it keeps me in a safe spot. Not that he can't kick me, but it keeps me in a safe spot. If he gets kicky, I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm just going to ignore that, and he gets no pay during that time. So I'm going to let him come back over to the fence. And it probably just tells me that I went too fast. Okay, so let's get some more of just him picking up his foot, and then we can graduate to that. Foot, deet. So you see how I just kept my hand on the side of his foot, on the side of his leg, while he was putting it back down. And we're going to do this so much that he just picks it up so calmly. I like to have 2 people when we start having them go on their toe, because then you just rub their leg a ton and pay them at the same time. Ready? But with just one person, you can't. Foot, deet. There. So I don't do it through the fence because he has been kicky. I do it through the fence because it's convenient. Ready? Foot, deet. And when he's more comfortable, we'll start with the wiggling and jiggling. And now I'm going to go in there with him to work the rest of his feet. Get him at a good angle. Come on. Okay, so when we start this, you see he just was a little bit nervous. He's flinchy right there. Do you see his body flinching just when I pretend or move my hand? He says, oh, I'm a little bit nervous. Now remember, he's a 22-year-old donkey, 3 days off. Let's get this aimed a little bit better. Okay. So now remember that they can kick forward. So when you start all of this, especially in the pen with them, you're going to face the same direction, because then if they do kick, they're going to kick the back of your knees and not the front. Are you ready? Foot. So now he knows this target training. He's further along than Cisco. There he comes. Deet. Now with him, I typically have more food in my hand because he gets kind of mouthy. That's going to go away when he's more calm and not nervous about things. Now he also gets a mixture of oats and then a low starch because he is also underweight. You ready? foot, feet. There you go. Now I can come back here. Now when you first start with the target training with their back foot, you're going to face the same way. Foot, you see how much he's flinching? He picked it up. I touched him and then I'm going to pay him. Okay. He didn't try to get kicky with it, but you could see because of how much he was flinching, he was definitely nervous. Now I do this with him more through the fence than I do standing right beside him. So because it's through the fence, normally when I'm doing this with him, he's more nervous with me standing beside him, and that's not even surprising. So we're just going to keep on helping him be more comfortable. Ready? Foot. Wait for him to pick it up. Foot. Feet. There. So when he picked it up, I touched his foot. All of this is just to get him comfortable with us being around his legs. Now you just see how nervous he gets. I'm just going to stand here beside him, let him have a second. See how his head is starting to come towards me a little bit? There we go. Are you ready? There, now he's ready. Okay, here we go. Ready? Foot. I'm waiting for him to touch my hand with his knee. Are you ready? Now it's important that you do everything with the long brush with this before you're putting your hand down here, because they could totally bring their head over there and bite you really quick. We want them to be comfortable with stuff before we're progressing along. So if you have a kicky donkey, you could be doing that long brush for as long as you need. There's no timeline that it's only going to take a day or a week. If you're working on a remodel project or one that's really nervous, just go slow. Are you ready? You got to do your knee, foot. Foot. You see, I'm not touching him. I'm not nagging on him. I'm waiting. It's donkey time. Feet. He's like, oh, that was easy. Now I get pay. Take it nice. Take it nice. Take it nice. And he's often funky on his right side more than his left, with gaping his mouth. He's got to keep going slow. So typically, if they get real mouthy, we will swat their mouth. And typically, we don't have to keep doing that. Romeo was getting mouthy and we swatted his mouth, and he's been just light as could be ever since then. With Don here, I'm not quite sure if it's the same reason that he gets mouthy. I think he's more nervous, but it could be that he's just saying that's migraine. You don't have any control over it. You ready? Foot. Feet. He touched it just barely. Now with him, I'm going to keep that. Oh, good boy. That was really good. There, he took it really nice. You can see both Blackjack and Joker are taking a nap behind me. You ready? We're going to go one more time. Foot. Feet. You got to be more gentle. Oh, that was good, guys. That was just his lips. He did a great job there. And he normally comes around when we're doing this stuff, but it just takes him a little bit more time. I'm going to give him a second because he was kind of backing up there. So while we're waiting for him, let's talk about my hat, guys. My daughter flies Blackhawks. She's in training right now. She's almost done with her training to be a helicopter pilot. So I'm super excited for her and proud of her. She's in the Army. And she'll be coming home for Christmas pretty soon, so we get to see her. But I'm so proud of her, and she just sent this to me for my birthday, and I just love it. I love the hat. So let's see if we can get him to kind of come over at an angle here. Come on, buddy. I just want to get so that you guys can see what I do when I'm introducing their back legs. So typically he gives me his left side up at the fence. And it's not as often I get to play with his back leg on his right side. Come, I want you at a different angle. Nose. Nose. He's not cooperating. Let me just move the camera. Oops, I just dropped it on the ground. I'll move the camera.